Welcome back to Grief Inspired. My name is Catherine McNulty. If you don't know me, I'm so glad that you're here and I'm so glad that you found me. My tagline is no one should grieve alone. So if you are here because you are grieving, welcome. You are no longer alone. So today I'm doing a little bit of behind the scenes, so to speak. So I usually spend a lot of time working on Sundays because that's when my free time is available. And I've recently been invited back to be a guest on the Open to Hope podcast. And I'm very excited about that. So Gloria and Heidi Horsley are two amazing humans who do a lot of work to help people through grief. And so if you haven't been to the Open to Hope website, I want you to check it out. So it's just opentohope.com. And they have every form of media that you would like. So if you like videos, the podcast that I will be on will be a Zoom. And so it will be available on YouTube. So, and I'll make sure that everybody knows where that is when that comes out. So they also have articles, and I oftentimes write pieces for them. And they also have a TV show, which is, a specific TV episode. So anyways, there's a ton of information there. Really, really good. No matter what type of loss, you're going to find what you need there, and you will find people sharing their stories that you can relate to, right? So you can find somebody with a story that's very similar in some ways to yours. So you can definitely find that there. I'm going to be talking about my grief journal on the podcast. If you haven't gotten a copy of this, the response that I've been getting back has been overwhelmingly positive. So this is something you're going to want. It's going to help you heal. Try it out, see how it goes. You don't have to do it every day. You can do it whenever the feeling strikes you. And again, with all tools for grief, if there's something that works for you, keep doing it. If you feel like it's not working for you, then stop and find something else. So like I said, with the Open to Hope podcast website, part of what I do is I write articles as well, because I love writing and I love putting feelings into words and taking time to be thoughtful with our words and what we say. So what I thought I would do today is read an article that I wrote, and it's going to share a little bit more about my journey. So you'll know a little bit more about me after this as well. So the article is Tools to Support You as You Grieve, and this will go up on their website as well, or likely should already be there by the time this airs. But here's what I said. So it's Tools to Support You as You Grieve. As I walked down the concrete path away from the hospital that had become my reality, grief came over me like a tidal wave. I wasn't sure I'd survive. I walked across the street to where I had stayed for 42 days and 42 nights as tears began streaming down my face. I no longer had a reason to be in the neonatal intensive care unit, and there was also no reason to be where I had stayed all those nights. That morning, as I left the hospital without my 6-week-old son, my whole world came crashing down around me. The tidal wave of grief took my breath away. My precious baby Jackson was gone. Suddenly, the world didn't seem to make sense anymore. I was in shock, and even though I had been in the hospital with my son teetering on the edge of death for all those weeks, I didn't ever imagine that he wouldn't live and I wouldn't be taking him home. My world had suddenly gone dark. The light snuffed out like a raindrop on a flame. The world was now dark, cold, and lacking the meaning it once had. It took me more than 2 years before I decided that I had to find a way through my grief, because I couldn't go on like I had been. I didn't want to live like this, holding on to the intensity of sadness and pain I felt every single day. And because I had just brought home another son, Mason Peter, I knew I had to find a way to crawl out of my grief. I wanted concrete tools, a way to take back some control and pull myself out of my grief. I spent time in therapy and in self-study to find what I needed. As I began healing and finding glimpses of joy again, I wondered why no one was teaching the tools I found. These very things had become my lifeline, the very things that had helped me crawl my way out of grief. I began my YouTube channel, Grief Inspired, and began teaching what I had learned so that others could have what I wanted and couldn't find. Today, I find inspiration in teaching those who grieve how to get unstuck, release their guilt, eliminate anxiety and depression, and take an active role in their own grieving process. The channel is full of all the tools I use and new tools I find as I continue learning more about my own grief in service of others. This year, I asked my viewers what I could do to help more. They asked for a journal with writing prompts to give them a place to start because starting with a blank page was too overwhelming. It's another tool that you can use to put you on the path to healing. I titled it A Grief Journal, Finding Hope, Love, and Grace in Grief, and made it available on Amazon for anyone who wants to heal. It's designed to give you hope that you can survive the pain of grief and find happiness again. It shifts your focus from the despair of loss you may be feeling to the reason why you grieve, because you love. And finally, it encourages grace, the practice of giving yourself patience as you work through your pain. As we move into 2022, I will continue to create tools to support those who grieve. I will continue with my mission to redefine how the world grieves, to focus on the gifts of grief rather than the despair of loss. May you find light in the darkness of grief. May you have hope for your future, and may you never have to grieve alone. So I hope that you enjoyed that, and there are a lot of articles on that website, so I want to encourage you to go there. But that's a little bit more of my story, and I just want to encourage you, like the article says, may you find light in the darkness of grief. May you have hope for your future, and may you never have to grieve alone. I'm here for you if you need me. If I can help, reach out to me at griefinspired@gmail.com. Bye for now.